If you've been spiraling to no end, haven't been feeling like yourself, your step has no pep, or just generally feel disconnected and in a funk lately, then same girl, same. I literally just had a couple of weeks where I felt off and low-key like Eeyore that I'm just coming out of. I used to think that anytime I was feeling that way, I just had to push through and force myself to be better, but really it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I mean, at least not for long, because eventually that band-aid I just slapped on will start to peel off, and the inner mess that I've been trying to hide will spill out again. And I've learned that the thing that actually brings me out of that and back to myself is to gently tend to the three parts, the physical, the emotional, and mental, that make up the individual whole that is me. So the physical is about caring for my corporal self, and the very first thing in the physical category is to shower. I gotta shower. If I can do an everything shower, like exfoliating, shaving, conditioning, and moisturizing, even better. But at the bare minimum, I have to shower, because best bet, if your girl has been in the dumps, she's also smelling like she's been in the dumps, okay? So after I'm showered, after I'm finally clean, I make sure I have a cute, nice loungewear set laying out, waiting for me. I spray perfume. I put on a face mask. For some reason, my brain has this association that a face mask is luxurious. So if there's ever been an appropriate time or place for a face mask, it's now. Then, once I'm all nice and clean, smelling good, have my face mask on, I clean the coffee table. I usually clean the coffee table or the kitchen, whichever is the place I will be stationary at and rotting in. Because in my state of mind, I am not going anywhere. I'm not going out into the world. I'm staying home and rotting. So if I'm gonna rot on the couch, at least my view of the coffee table will be clean, like me and my body. And of course, no rotting sesh on the couch is complete without a nice little drinky drink or a little snacky snack. So I make sure to get snacks that I like. So I make sure to get the things where I'm usually like, no, I couldn't, I wouldn't, I shouldn't, but I do. This week, I do. Hold on, let me show you. This time it was candy, but if it's like a donut or a cake situation, I'm pulling out the good dishes. I'm using the good utensils. I'm using the good glasses because I'm worth it. So the emotional aspect is mainly about calming the internal turmoil I'm feeling and affirming my identity, the things that make me me. So at the very top of that list is absolutely no social media whatsoever at all, unless it's a comfort creator. That's the only kind of social media that I allow for myself. Because we all know it. We all know that consuming social media while you're down is just gonna make things worse. It makes things worse. It doesn't help anybody. So put the phone down and might as well just put some salt on the wound. Why don't you? So next, I seek out my cat. Wherever I am in the house, I call out for him, I beckon him towards me, and he'll come. And then as soon as he comes, I'll just like cuddle him and I'll put my head on his chest and then I'll just listen to his purring. It's so healing. Like in that moment, the soothing sounds of his purring just drowns out anything that's going on in my head or in my heart. It just becomes a new soundtrack that's going through my consciousness. I think it's especially healing and comforting because animals are just such a source of presence. It's all they can be. They don't judge you. They don't know what your thoughts are or what you did or didn't do that you're torturing yourself about. All that matters to them is this present moment that they have and are sharing with you. So to be able to completely let my defenses down, I don't need to be anybody I'm not. I don't need to puff up. I don't need to shrink. I just need to be. Because even though I may be feeling like literal trash, to my cat, I am the best person in the entire world. Then I listen to all my favorite songs and the songs that activate the karaoke mode in me and make me want to just sing along. Lately, it's because of Coachella, I know, but it's been Justin Bieber's Beauty and a Beat and Cat's Eyes Pinky Up. Bangers, straight bangers. So after that, I'll watch my comfort movies. I have to watch my comfort movies because they serve as such a escape for me, because for a moment, I just get to go into a world where everything is gonna be okay. Even when it doesn't seem like it's gonna be okay, you know it's gonna be okay because it's a movie. And by the end of the 1.5 hours or 2 hours, usually that did some magic and I'm feeling okay. And if I'm feeling really, really bad, I'll put on a comfort movie series because then it's a much more immersive world that I get to escape into, and by the end of 5 or 6 hours, I know I'll be okay. And the final thing in the emotional category is that I keep a list of things that I love to do, things that I think make me me, things that just make me light up and I feel my best when I'm doing them. Everything I have on that list is just for me and my own enjoyment. So on the list are things like a hot girl scenic walk, exploring new grocery stores and parks and neighborhoods that I haven't been to, diamond painting. I love getting having a fun little coffee drink at a cafe I've never been to that's super cute. I love reading in the park. I love people watching. I like jazzing with strangers. Anything that just triggers feelings of wonder and inspiration and just this awe of being alive and experiencing. That can tie into museums and art exhibits and things like that. So I'll pull out that list, and it's kind of like a pick your own medicine thing where I just like go down and see which activities would give me my spark back. The final aspect, the mental aspect, is about centering myself. It's the metaphorical equivalent of going from looking down and staring at my 2 feet to putting my head up and remembering that I'm on a path right now and seeing the destination that I want to get to. So I do that by revisiting the list of personal values that I have. So I have this list of values that I strive to cultivate my life around, and when I revisit these values and go down the list, it helps to reinforce my identity and the kind of person I want to be. It's also a useful exercise to understand how you got into this funk and how you started feeling bad about yourself in the first place. So for example, one of my values is agency, and if I look around in my life and take stock of what's happening and I realize that, oh yeah, there's this one part of your life where you feel like you don't have any agency, like duh, no wonder why you're feeling down in the dumps. One of your values isn't being honored here. I find that that's a really helpful exercise to get to the why, the root cause as to why I'm not feeling my best and how I can course correct. As a complement to revisiting my values, I'll also revisit my goals and the things that I want in my life. And I have a list. I have another list. I am a list girl through and through. By looking at that list and going through it and remembering why these were so important, it kind of gently leads me back to myself, because it kind of starts this conversation with yourself, this reflection that starts to happen where you're like, hey Grace, I know you're feeling bad right now. I know you're down in the dumps, but like, remember that thing you wanted? Like, that thing's all the way over there. If you still want it, you can't get there by staying here. So it gets me out of a headspace that I feel like I've cemented myself in. It basically acts as the equivalent of pulling myself up from off the ground, dusting myself off, and putting one foot in front of the other again. This one I find always helps me. It always gets me out of my head and back into my own life, and that is to be a positive force for someone else's life. So what I do is that I call my grandma and I call my mom. I ask them how they're doing. I tell them that I love them. I also try to call a friend, see how they're doing, try to help them. It always makes me happy and feel better that just by doing something so small, it has made all the difference in someone else's lives. Doing things like that reminds me that there's a whole world out there and that I'm not the center of the universe, even though it feels like it. I always feel better and more grounded after I've called my loved ones. This is the final thing in the mental category, and it's the hardest thing to do, but it's also the most dramatic and the most powerful, and that is practicing mindfulness. So when I'm able, because I'm not always able, it's so hard, but when I am able to, just being able to have that kind of awareness that this is just an emotion, it's fleeting, it's just something that's occurring and I'm just experiencing it and it will be over. Just that awareness and that realization just helps to create that little bit of distance that I need to catch my breath and come back to myself and realize like, hey, this is gonna pass. You'll be okay. If any of this is resonating with you, you got this, queen.